Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a fun, colorful tutorial, as seen here, using all the new Colourpop launches and just stuff that I haven't really tried out from them. I've tried out a lot of stuff from Colourpop. I absolutely adore that brand. It's so inexpensive and their products are so good. And I know a lot of you have been asking for like more beginner type tutorials, and they will be coming your way, but with the products that I had here before me, I couldn't just do a simple look. I had to get a little bit artsy with it, so I promise those simple looks are coming your way. But before this video drags on forever, let's go ahead and get started. I filmed this a little bit differently, kind of got a little bit of inspiration from Tati, Glam Life Guru. If you don't know who she is, like, where on earth have you been? Just trying to really make my videos and my content a little bit shorter so it's not so overwhelming and it doesn't drag on. But of course I need to stop making really long intros for that to happen. So before I drag on any longer and keep talking, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so at the beginning of this video I had my skin prepped because we are going to be trying out the Colourpop No Filter Stix foundation. I tried their liquid version of this and I liked it at first, but the more and more that I used it, I really did not like the formula. It tends to like break up on the skin. It would break up around my chin area a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what is happening, you know? So that was never a fun experience. But I really like how the stick formula works. I've been wearing this since I got it because I didn't want to just give a first impressions on it. I wanted to actually tell you what I thought about it. I think it wears really nice on the skin. It's definitely a buildable application. I don't think it's full coverage on the first go. It has a really weird smell to it. It's kind of perfumey like, and I don't know how I feel about that. And it also kind of has a little bit of like an oily, slick type feel to it. But as you can see in the application, I just apply 2 swipes on each cheek. I make a little M on my forehead, just apply it here and there, and then blend it out with a brush. I haven't tried blending it out with a beauty blender because I first tried it out with my Luxie flat angled blender brush, and it's the only brush that I've been using ever since. I just really like the way that it blends. Some areas where I find it has trouble sticking onto is right here on like the top of my nose and sometimes on my forehead, but it ends up kind of working out okay because I tend to go in with a concealer afterwards, and so it'll cover up any areas that didn't get covered by the foundation. But if you do go in and apply a foundation again in that area, it works just fine. Right now I have a little bit of like peeling going on in this area from the facial that I just got. Just new skin coming in, you know, all of that after facial. So it does cling on to that. So I can only imagine how it would cling on to dry skin. But it's also not matte. It definitely feels hydrating. Like I said, it has this little bit of like an oily, slick type feel. Okay, so the next thing that I went into on my face is the Colourpop Jelly Much Shadows. I got 2 shades. I got Origami and Into Focus, and I used Origami on my eye. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. They work. I thought that they were going to be so messy, but they literally just glide on the eye, and you can really shape it into any form that you want. You can use it as just shadow to cut the crease. I bet you could use it as liner. It's so easy to work with. I just went ahead and used 2 flat shadow brushes just to kind of place that on there. I did not use Into Focus, which is the green one, but I will go ahead and still swatch it for you all. These work so good. I was so surprised. I will say they do feel a little bit heavy on the eyes. It's not like you don't have them there. I can feel that I have the shadow on my eye. It does feel a little bit weighed down, and you definitely have to use a little bit. On this eye, I used a little bit more than I had on this eye, and I could feel it started to clump up around this area. And when I went in with the blue pigment, it started to kind of ball up right here in the middle of the lid. And I feel because of that, the blue also did not blend as easily on top of it. It kind of started to clump and it started making a mess. I really love how this eye came out, that I used very little of that gold. I went a little too heavy-handed on this one, and I feel like it blended weird on top of that. If you're scared because you're like, what is this? I'm not really good at makeup, I think this would be fun for a really bright, just quick one shadow wipe on the eye. You could even take your finger and just kind of dab it along the lid, and then take a neutral shadow, which I actually did. I went into the Colourpop Take Me Home palette, and I used this shade right here to go into my crease, just to kind of deepen it a little bit, and I went in with this shade on the lower lash line. But I think you can definitely take the shadow, put it into your crease, then just dab the Jelly Much shadow on there, and you're good to go, and you have this bam pop of color. So the next thing that I went into was the Kathleen Lights X Colourpop Pigments, loose pigments, and let me tell you, these are so much better than their original pigments. I'm not just saying that because I love Kathleen. I know you guys know I love Kathleen Lights, but honestly, this is so much easier to work with. Dry, wet. I used it wet. I sprayed some of my Too Faced Hangover setting spray on the end of my brush, and I just went ahead and I applied it, and I patted it in, and it just applies so nicely. I feel like it could definitely be more pigmented if I built it up more, but I did want it to kind of just be diffused into the gold and not be too strong blue. But I mean, look at the swatches. They're absolutely beautiful. Like, these shadows, this pigment is just so good. I definitely regret not getting another shade, but I just wanted to pick out one color, and this blue really just called out to me. This is the Water Bear, so if you're an Aquarius, this is you. And it was so nice. I couldn't help but to get this one, and now I definitely want to go back and get more. Next, we're going to go into the BFF liners. The BFF liquid liners, and these are the ones that I use to go ahead and create the freckles on my face. The blue is obviously a lot more pigmented than the yellow on my skin as freckles. I feel like the yellow kind of just disappeared into my skin tone. I feel like I have yellow undertones, so it just kind of went away. But as a liner, I think it would definitely work. Like, it has its pigmentation, you can still see it on my skin, so I think as just like a bold liner, it would definitely still work. The blue doesn't really look blue to me. If you look at the swatches, the blue definitely looks like a black or like a navy, but it really doesn't stand out as a pop of blue. I was hoping to get a pop of blue and just really see it stand out, kind of like a royal blue. That would have been really nice, especially because that's what you get from the mascara. The mascara is a beautiful royal blue, and I really wish that the liner would have matched that same intensity. So to finish off the eye look, I went in with the BFF Volumizing Mascara. I went in with the pink shade, which is called Pink Incorporated. And oh my gosh, it is so pretty. It's such a pretty subtle pink. I definitely need falsies for this eye look, but I didn't want to ruin any falsies and make them pink. I have a lot to say about this. So I do think that it lengthens your lashes for sure, but I feel like for this pink shade, in order to get my lashes fully coated in the pink and to really get them to that bright pink that I wanted, I needed at least 2 layers. But if you start applying more and more layers of this mascara, your lashes start to clump up, and that definitely started to happen. my lashes started to clump up together, and I really wasn't able to lengthen them anymore or add any more volume to them because they would all just start sticking together. I think that it looks really nice on the lower lash line. It definitely took a lot less to get the pink to really pop out. But for that top lashes, you really had to layer it on there. I was indecisive between the pink and the blue, but I thought the pink would be a nice pop. I'm really excited to try the blue one just because it is that pretty royal blue, and it's called Blue Ya Mind. And I really like the pop of color as an individual, like mascara. If I would get the black one and use it on a daily basis, I don't know, because I really also like to layer my mascara, and I feel like even with the black one, if I would layer it, it would start clumping up, and I hate that. I hate spider lashes. I hate clumpiness. It's not appealing to me. So I think I'm going to try them out more and see if I can figure out a way to make them work. Maybe I just didn't clean the wand off well enough, but I definitely want to go more into these. I love the pink. It looks so pretty on the eyes, and it's making my hazel eyes pop, but I really think that the downside is how clumpy it gets. So I have to sit on a pillow in order to be high enough to be in a good view, but I also have to sit with my legs folded to also be high enough. My legs are asleep. They are yelling. I can feel the numbness just happening. Oh my god. Ow! Oh, blood rushing. Oh my god, the blood is rushing down to my toes. I guess I'm not that sure. I guess this is fine, right? We're in a good view. I'll just zoom myself in a little bit. But the next thing that I went ahead and I tried out for the first time is the Colourpop Lippy Pencils. Now I know these are not new. They've been around for like, I think, since I found out about Colourpop, but I've never actually tried them. I've never been a lip liner person, but I went in today with Hard On, which is a beautiful bright pink, and oh my gosh, these glide on so easy. They make it so easy to outline your lip, fill in and shade where you want to fill in and shade to make it look darker and more plump and all that fun stuff. I also got the shades Little One and Curvy from the I Love Sarai collaboration, because I mean I had to get something from her collab, and I'm absolutely loving it. Also I got the So Juicy Plumping glosses, and I have mixed feelings. They're thick, and they have that, they're thick and they're a little sticky, but it's not that overwhelming sticky where you like move your lips together and like you see the lines coming up because it's like sticking together. You know what I'm talking about? But it is thick. You feel it on your lips. The plumping effect, like the mintingness, is not overwhelming. I feel there's some that kind of like burn the lips a little bit. It's a little bit too mentholy, too minty. You definitely don't feel that with these, and they smell delicious. They smell like chocolate. Like, have you know, like chocolate scented chapsticks or like stuff like that? That's what it smells like, and I love that smell. Does it smell different than the other ones? No, yeah, they all have that like chocolatey smell, and I love it. I went in today with the shade Va Va Voom, and I think it did make the lips look Va Va Voom. I kind of feel like since I've applied it to right now, it's like faded a little bit. It's not as like high shine as when I had first applied it. So I'm just gonna apply a little bit more to the center. Instant juiciness right there. I really like how they feel in comparison to their ultra glossy lip. I like that formula definitely a lot better. It's not as thick in consistency. It's definitely not as sticky. This definitely has that like high shine editorial look, where the other one's kind of more like an everyday type of gloss. And I don't really feel like it plumps the lips. Like I like the Buxom plumping lip glosses, those plump up your lips for sure. Like you get a little bit of a when you use it. I really don't think that this gives you that much of that like really plumping effect. I just feel like it feels really refreshing on the lips, and it wears really nice on top of the liner. So the last thing that I want to go ahead and talk about is the Colourpop Gliterarlly Obsessed Body Glitter. I did not use this just because glitter is a little bit of the devil, but look how beautiful that is. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait to actually play with this. The formula, oh my god, it's so thick. It feels like a glitter gel. It's like a glitter jelly. But look at that. I like created like a layer, like a glass layer on my hand. Like that little bit blends out. Oh my god, it was getting in my nail. That little bit blends out to all of this. I'm really curious to try it out on the eye because I want to know if it stings. That is what always scares me about glitter jelly like products like that, like those liquid metallic shadows, like shadows, like the Stila one. They Colourpop has them as well. Pixie has them. Some of them tend to sting my eyes. Like it burns, and I don't know how to feel about it. You know what I mean? It definitely burns, and it's not a pleasant feeling. I hope that this doesn't do that. I will have to try it out, and I will keep you guys posted. Maybe I'll do it on an Insta story just so you guys can see what it's like and how it wears. But yeah, that's my little mini review on the new Colourpop products that I tried out. All of the shadows I really, really loved. They were so pigmented. They work so well on the eye, so easy to work with. I was a little bit scared because I was like, what is this texture? What is this? It's not plain shadow. How do I make this happen? But they worked really nicely. They're super pigmented. The mascaras, like I said, I don't know if I would buy the normal black one to wear on every day. It's just they get too clumpy, and I don't really like that about these. Like I don't like the fact that they would bunch up together in a normal black one because I like to layer my mascara. But for fun, like quick artsy looks, I think that they're inexpensive, first of all, so they're really nice to just have and add a pop of color to any makeup look when you want to have a little bit of fun. The foundation, I like how it wears on the skin. I have combo skin, in case you were wondering. I feel like it lasts all day really nicely. Definitely a lot better than their liquid foundation. I feel like their liquid foundation just broke up everywhere. This one doesn't do that. I do get oily when I wear this, and I think it's because of that oily, slick feeling that I keep telling you that it has. But other than that, I really like this foundation. I love it so much better than their liquid one. The liners I definitely loved. I will have to wear these on the eye and truly see how long they last. But I do like how pigmented they are, and I will tell you that they do not bleed when I swatch them on the back of my hand, or even now using them as freckles and putting in a dot. I love the glosses, but like I said, I'm not crazy about them. They're not my favorite. I like their ultra glossy lips so much better than these. These are just a little bit too sticky for me. So there's that. These are just a little bit too thick for me. Like I hate that I can feel on my lip that I have a gloss. But I do like the high shine. Like the high shine is so pretty. If you've never used lip liner before, I definitely recommend these lippy pencils. I think that they're so easy to work with. They go on so smoothly, and they just help you create the shape that you really want with your lips.